Hey, my name is Samar. I also go by Sam or First Time Tanner. Any of those you want to call me, you can. There are some neighbors outside and I have my windows open, so you're probably going to hear them. As you can see, this will be my October makeup recap where I go over all of my declutters, empties, and purchases for the month of October as far as makeup. And this is where I do my beauty bank totals and stuff because I am on a beauty bank. My current rules are 1 in, 1 out, and then declutters do not count, but gifts do count. So if anyone gives me anything or if I get a free gift with purchase, then that counts as a point taken away. Sorry, I cannot focus with them. This is my good ear and they're in my good ear, so I'm having trouble focusing. Sorry about that. But samples don't count. So that's just a quick overview of the current rules of my beauty bank. And I am filming this. I meant to film this yesterday, but I just was not. I've been having migraines and I've been feeling really low energy lately, so yeah, I was not going to film this. I just took my Saturday to relax, so yeah, this is a day late, but it's here now. Before I start with my declutters, I always like to, if I have any, I like to kind of just mention any movement that I have in my nail polish collection. And this month I do have an empty, though it's not an actual polish. It's a 2-in-1 top coat and base coat from OPI. It's the start to finish base and top coat, like I just said. So this is done. There's a tiny bit at the bottom, but the past 3 times I've used this is so thick and gloopy that it just won't even actually coat my nail. It'll just get stuck in a blob right where I put it, so I'm not gonna use this anymore. To me, it's done, and I'm really happy because this was not my favorite one. It left bubbles in my nails. If you know those little bubbles you can sometimes get in your nail polish for whatever reason, I noticed this did that. So hopefully my next polish, I went back to my regular Sally Hansen. Hopefully my next polish doesn't do that. Now we're on to my declutters in my Grouse mug. All of my declutters this month come from the same line. They're basically the same thing. If you watched my, I think it was my deck of panning, I did mention that I was going to declutter all of these, which is all of my NYX not butter glosses. I love my butter glosses. I'm talking about the NYX soft matte lip creams, which I also do love the formula of these, but just none of the shades that I have work for me. Out of all of the ones that I've ever owned, only one of them worked, but it was more like a red berry color and it wasn't my favorite tone of lipstick to wear, so I think I'm just not really gonna purchase from the soft matte lip cream line anymore. I have, let me see, I have 8 of these. There goes my regularly scheduled me dropping things. But I have so many of these because I used to be a little bit of a makeup collector. Specifically, when I was first getting into makeup around 2021, I was really into travel. The past few years, of course, other than 2020, I had just been on a traveling kick, and I was just really excited about traveling throughout the country and to other countries. It was traveling is my passion. You know how people say that? That was kind of me. And so every time there was a line that had different cities, I would just buy the shade that had that city name. And if you didn't know, all of the soft matte lip creams are named after major cities, so every time I visited a city I would get that lip cream shade. But literally none of these work for me. Well, I mean, technically this red one, Amsterdam, this one, it's a red, so obviously it would work for me. It's deep enough for my skin, but I don't wear reds, so I've literally never used this. The only one that kind of sort of worked for me was Los Angeles. This was featured in that deck of panning video and earlier in my That's So 2000s project. When I used it earlier in February, March, when this rolled in, I was much paler, and this just worked for me. It was almost concealer lip, but it was just dark enough for me to get away with it. But wearing it in the summer, it looked really terrible on me, and I really don't want to have to make a product work and like only be able to wear it at certain times of the year, especially because like even in when I was at my palest wearing this, it still wasn't that flattering. It was only slightly deeper than my lips, and I know like it looks like it would be a good shade for me, but when this dries, it dries down lighter. Here are all 8 shades. I thought I'd just swatch them just to show you. Yeah, none of these would work on me. Here is the Los Angeles shade. Yeah, definitely way too light for my lips, especially right now. And then here's the Amsterdam shade. It's a very, very bright red. I just wouldn't wear it. And then clearly all the other shades are definitely way too light or way too bold. Like these 2 hot pinks I would never wear. So all of these are going to be unfortunately tossed. They're like 3 years old and they're cream products, so I wouldn't want to give them to anyone, but I don't even know anyone who would want to wear these, and I'm gonna have to be very careful with these because I didn't bring anything to wipe these swatches off. So now we're on to Empties. So if you've been keeping up with my beauty bank points, I ended last month still at -10 for my beauty bank, so not doing the greatest. I did say last time that if I had to, I would go on a no buy month for December, which I'll be honest, it's kind of looking like I might have to do that, but I'm also not really planning on buying anything else. I didn't purchase any makeup. Spoiler, I didn't purchase any makeup in the Sephora sale, and I'm not going to. I've already made my purchases. I actually did purchase one makeup item, but it's something that I said I was gonna buy anyway, and it was just a replacement staple item. So yeah, I'm not planning on purchasing any more makeup for the year. We'll just see how this goes, but for now let me talk about my October empties. And the first few that I want to talk about are technically not officially done right now, but they're going to be done soon. So the first one is my Pat McGrath Labs lip balm in the shade Astro Blue Star. So this is what it looks like. As you can see, there's a tiny bit left, but this is going to be done probably, I'm wearing it now, and I'll put a little bit more on. This is going to be done probably by tomorrow. In fact, the next video that I'm filming is my 24 and 2024 video, which this is in, so I can guarantee by the time I film that, you will see the evidence that this is an empty. I just didn't want to have it around for an entire month before I have to film my next empties videos, because like this stuff like adds up and it gets to be a lot to store. So I just wanted to get it out of the way so that when it's done I can go and recycle the packaging and be done with it. This is the LYS lip oil in the shade Hot Chocolate. It's in my That's So 2000s project pan, and it might look like there's a considerable amount of product in here left, but the last few times I've used this, I've had to really squeeze on the packaging to get anything out. So I'm sure this is gonna be empty as far as like what I can get out of this by tomorrow. So by the time I'm editing this video, I will post a picture of the packaging when it's like at its emptiest, and then yeah, this will be done. Then I have this eyeliner from e.l.f. This is their, what is this actually called? Their H2O proof eyeliner pen in the shade black. This is like a constant repurchase for me. Technically the cap like is so hard to pull off. Technically I could still use this since it does have some juice left in it, but this has been open for over 8 months now. I don't like to use eyeliner products if it's like a liquid eyeliner like this for longer than 6 months, and I didn't even realize it had been open that long. So I want to get rid of this. And then also because it's so old, and this is something that happens with a lot of this, it's doing it right now, a lot of this e.l.f. packaging is if it's open too long, especially with this eyeliner specifically, I don't know if you can see, but it's literally bubbling, like it's leaking. It'll create this giant bubble of ink and then it'll just start leaking everywhere, and it's always messing up my eyeliner or my eye makeup every time I put it on. So considering how old it is, and because it's faulty, because it's old, I'm just gonna call it done. Then I have this face powder, or this like powder foundation, which as you can see, it's not technically empty. This is a Franken powder of the Maybelline, what this packaging says. The Maybelline Super Stay Foundation, and then the Givenchy deluxe sample of their like new formulated powder. Basically about 2/3 of the product fit in here, and then the rest I just put in a little single pan in a Z palette. So I've pretty much used up, since it was 2 products in that Franken and I've used up this much of it, I've technically used up 1 product worth of product. I'm over explaining myself. Basically I've used up an entire item's worth of product if I've used up half of the 2. So I'm counting this as an empty. I'm going to repress whatever's left just around the edges plus the extra that's in that little single pan. I'm gonna do that tonight. I've been waiting to film this, to repress this. It's been really annoying to use just all over the edges, but I'm gonna do that tonight, and then once I use the rest of this, I'll count that other half as another empty, which will probably definitely be by the next update. But yeah, this is technically 1 empty for my standards. Okay, on to the rest of the things that are definitely empties. The first one is this Tower 28 mascara. This is their Make Waves mascara in the brown shade Drift, and I've only had this open for 2 months now, but it's just so dry. I think it's because I took this traveling with me twice to drier climates, and just like being on the plane probably dried it out too. So yeah, this has been pretty much dried out, or like on the verge of being dried out, for a few weeks now, and I've just been trying to get through it until I filmed this update and just give it that last chance. But yeah, it's like done. It's been flaking on me, which happens when mascaras get dry, and even when I swirl the wand around, it feels like all the product on the sides just feels dry. So it's kind of a bummer that this dried out that quickly, but because I was traveling so much with this, I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt on that, and potentially I'll repurchase this. But I already do actually have another backup of a brown mascara, which I'll mention in a minute. Then I have another mascara, which I did finish this about a month ago. This is the e.l.f. Big Mood, a mini of their black mascara, and I finished this about a month ago, but because there was still like, it's kind of the same thing as this, where there was product in here but it was just super dried out. I wanted to keep this around and just try to see if I could use it as somewhat of a brow product, because this entire past month I've been struggling to find something to do my brows with, because I just keep finishing brow products and not buying more. But yeah, it didn't really work out. I probably used it like that for about a week, and then I just realized like literally no product was coming off from the wand. So this is done, and it has been for a very long time. Then I have another eyeliner. This is so exciting. I think this is, I don't know if this was the 2nd month in a row that I finished a brown eyeliner, but I just very recently finished another brown eyeliner, the Kulfi one, which I definitely did not like. This one was definitely better than that, but it's still not my favorite formula, just because I think I just don't like these retractable eyeliner pencils. They're just not, they don't really work well for the waterline. This is the Dose of Colors It's Fine eyeliner in the shade Espresso. As you can see, there's just like a super tiny nub of product on the top. I'll give you a swatch with that little bit of product there. Now it's completely flat. This is what it looks like. It's the super deep brown. Then I have 2 lip products. This is the NYX Line Loud lip liner in the shade Total Baller. I pretty much use this as a lipstick. It was super creamy, so it was really easy to get on my lips, but it did dry down like a lip liner. This is a really nice lip liner shade for me actually, but I just found that I didn't need it because I'm not the type of person who uses a lip liner. So I figured I'd just like get it done by using as a lipstick, and I really like the color that it, I don't know, I like the shade is what I'm trying to say. And then also the last few times I used it under my final empty, which is my Fenty Beauty Mini Gloss Bomb in the shade Champ Stamp Fantasy. I also brought this, so I use this on top of that lip liner, and it's a really, really pretty lip gloss. I also brought this with me out of town when I was in Minnesota for a week this past month. This was one of the only lip products that I brought with me, so I got a lot of use on it. And by the time I came back, this was like almost full when I brought it with me. By the time I came back, it was almost empty, so I kind of just pushed through it, and this was like the only lip gloss that I was using. But I probably only got about 2 weeks of use out of this tiny thing. But as you can see, it's like pretty much empty. I could probably get maybe one more use out of this, but I'm not even gonna bother. It's done. I definitely will repurchase this shade in the future, but not anytime soon, because like I said, my beauty bank is struggling. But I just think this is such a beautiful shade, and I really liked using it the entire time I was out of town. I didn't really feel like I was wanting for anything because it was so pretty. Now on to purchases, and just bear with me, okay? Like, I'll explain myself at the end, but yeah, I'll just start with the ones that you already know about. And these are my 3 NYX Butter Gloss Blings that I bought in, there was like an Ulta sale. There's always an Ulta sale, but there was an Ulta sale at the very beginning of October, and in that sale it was like buy 2 get 1 for a bunch of brands, and I took advantage of that for both NYX and Milani. Milani, I actually needed stuff, but for NYX, I had just been wanting to try these Butter Gloss Blings for months. And yeah, I really don't regret my purchase. I think these are so beautiful. I'm just remembering I forgot to link the video in my Ulta recommendations video, but I will link the swatch video that I did for all these 3 in the description box. They're just so beautiful and I really love them. The 3 Milani items that I bought are setting spray, which I needed because I was completely out of setting spray and I didn't have any for like a week. So I'm already, okay, dropping things twice. I'm already over halfway through this, so this will definitely be an empty next time. Then I also bought this brow wax that I always say is a staple. I use this every time I do my makeup. I go through these pretty quickly. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this was an empty next time. But yeah, I love this so much. It's in my brows today, and I really didn't want to, this is dramatic, but I did not want to go without this. I feel like this is just as important as having a setting spray for me. Then back to the brown mascara replacement that I was talking about earlier. This is the Milani Anti-Gravity, or highly rated Anti-Gravity mascara. I've never tried this before, but I knew I was gonna finish the what is this, Tower 28 mascara, and I'm currently searching for a new perfect brown mascara, which this is definitely up there. I really liked this, but I did hear really good things about this mascara from Haley from Beauty News, even though I saw it on her own channel, but Haley from Beauty News, she said that she really liked this, so I bought the brown shade in, I don't know, I guess it doesn't have a shade, but I'm really excited to use this. I probably won't open this for maybe another month because I'm trying to get through some other mascaras that I have, but yeah, I'm very excited to use this and see what my thoughts are on this. And of course, you also know about my Ilia face palette, which I love. I featured this in a Get Ready With Me and also in my Sephora recommendations video. I love this face palette. It's the Ethereal Baked Face Palette in the medium shade, and no regrets on this as well, but it is pretty expensive. So because of that, I've decided this will be my Christmas present to myself. I usually buy myself a little gift for the holidays, and I'm just making this that because I bought this full price and it is $58, but I really wanted it, so no regrets there. I'm shuffling things around to account for this purchase. With that face palette, I got a free gift with purchase, and it was like a deluxe sample bag, and in that came 2 makeup items. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. This was also featured in that Get Ready With Me with the face palette. And then I have this Laura Mercier mini caviar stick in the shade Rose Gold, which I've had something just like this before, like this exact shade, but I think it was a Bobbi Brown shadow stick, and I really like that, so I'm not mad about this at all. I really missed having that as just like a little inner corner highlight stick that I could bring with me anywhere, so I'm actually very excited about these because I had always wanted to try the all-nighter, and I'm gonna need another setting spray after I finish the Milani one in probably like 3 weeks. Finally, my last purchase, you also know about because I was like so excited about this, and I've been talking about it a lot. It's the Danessa Myricks Lightwork Volume 6 palette, and I'm not gonna open it up and everything. I'm gonna have a video coming soon with 6 looks with this palette and swatches, so stay tuned for that if you're interested. But yeah, I bought this with a gift card. I did not pay full price for this. I had a $100 Sephora VIB gift card, so I only paid $28 for this. But I am very excited about this. So if we're totaling everything up, I ended last month's update with a -10 beauty bank balance, and then I emptied out 9 products, and then I purchased 10 products. So that leaves me with, we're getting worse here, that leaves me with a -11 beauty bank balance. So as I said, I'm not, other than that one thing, it was a brow pencil, I'm just gonna say what I bought. It was a brow pencil. Other than that brow pencil that I bought in the Sephora sale, not buying anything in the Sephora sale. I'm not planning on buying anything, like any makeup from any Black Friday or holiday sales. I did make one Ulta purchase with some makeup in it, and I'm also thinking of, I know I said I wasn't gonna do this, I'm thinking of potentially buying some things from the Terra Moon's vault before their vault closes, because there were a few eyeshadows that I was interested in that I want to get before they're again not available anymore. But I'll just have to see where I am with my empties toward the end of the sale. Just want to be transparent since I'm so far in the negative. I want to be honest with you about my thoughts of purchasing makeup for the rest of the year, but I am planning on going on that December no buy, because yeah, I'm definitely, no matter what, going to end my beauty bank with at least a 0 balance. I won't be fudging any numbers. I won't be giving up on my beauty bank. I am really dedicated to this challenge. So yeah, that's it for this update. Please don't be disappointed in me. I promise I will do better in the coming months, but let me know how you're doing if you're doing beauty bank. Let me know if you're being tempted by any sales, or if you have plans on making purchases. But yeah, I'll see you in my next video, which will be the 24 and 2024 update, where you will see this Pat McGrath lip balm empty. I promise you. Bye.